Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mysticsense Series, Episode 4. Today with us is Vinaya from Mysticsense. My name is Phoenix. If you're new to our series, I am a Mysticsense advisor as well since 2020, and I'm the host of these Mysticsense series episodes. So, Vinaya, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Wow, we don't have enough time for that, but my name is Vinaya. And yeah, I have been basically sort of different all my life without actually knowing what's going on. It was just obvious. And I always had a certain different view of things or sight. But I had no idea what this was all about. Like, I'm now 70. In my time, meditation wasn't even a word known. So I had no clue. But when I started looking for that, so to speak, yeah, that which is what we are all looking for, I came to understand that I do have a sort of medium ability. And so I started sharing my gifts with tarot cards, with the Book of Thoth, with the Alexa Crowley deck. Somewhat it didn't quite work. And then okay, so go back when I was like 12 or so, I became aware of crystals and I became an absolute crystal freak. I went every weekend collecting and knowing everything about them. And yeah, really a fan, just collecting. And then one day I was in Hawaii and this guy was standing there and he was doing a demonstration. He had this woman and she had a Perovsky crystal, these lead glass crystals on her neck. So he said, okay, take this off and let's see how far your auric field extends out of your body. And he had a device like a pendulum kind of thing. So he measured her auric field, her energetic field, and it was say 5 feet. So he said, now take your crystal, your lead crystal, put it on. Let's see how far the aura goes out now. Was gone. And then he says, okay, here's a crystal. Put that on. Let's see how far your aura goes in. And it was like double out, like really strong. And something clicked in me and I go like, I know all this. And I started learning about the healing property of crystals and started reading with crystals. That's in a nutshell.
That's fantastic. Very amazing. How different, the lead crystal versus the actual crystal. You
That
know,
was amazing.
is that like a man-made crystal
Yeah,
versus the natural? Okay.
yeah, yeah. And it
Yeah.
has lead in it, which is not very beneficial for our field. So it basically collapsed the field of this woman. But the revelation was like, it was like nothing new when I suddenly saw what a crystal does. It was kind of like, yeah, I know.
I have a bag of crystals here today too. So let's jump into our information. So, what are some popular healing crystals, and how do their properties help in healing and protection?
Okay, there is, as we know, quite a few crystals, minerals, and all have a certain property. Now, some are very rare and not very widely used, and some are used for thousands of years. And the main one is quartz. And then comes turquoise and malachite, like kind of common minerals who are always used by people for hundreds and thousands of years. And so for me, the most beneficial one is quartz. And the one reason why that is so is because we have a lot of quartz inside us. So it really resonates with us. And as we know from computers, it is programmable. So for me, quartz is basically, if you don't really know what kind of crystal you want to use a quartz crystal. And then you want protection. I'm going forward a little bit fast, I think, but like, so you can program this crystal. Now, amethyst, for example, is also a quartz crystal, and the inherent power is basically to take on non-beneficial energies, meaning certain crystals we have to clean very often because we only want the correct frequencies. Every crystal, according to the color and also the form, has different properties. So that's like a whole study we can do. But basically, if you don't know, use a quartz crystal. That's the best thing I can tell you. Does that answer your question somewhat?
Yes. So the properties, does quartz itself have any specific properties, or is it the properties that we give the crystal?
Both. Because it's programmable. So the quartz crystal in itself has an inherent frequency, which is really aligned with our frequency. So bringing a quartz crystal in my auric field, it already does the job, right? It doesn't make me supernatural now or gets a headache away necessarily and stuff like this, but it brings my vibration back to the normal state I should be in or could be in, so to speak. And so that's the inherent property. Then the other one is it amplifies energies. So if I put a thought, which is an energetic form, into a quartz crystal, like protect me from non-beneficial energies, protect me from non-beneficial energies, that gets amplified. And the crystal assists us in protection. It doesn't do it completely. We still have to be aware and conscious and see that something is happening. So I have to put a shield up. And then the crystal amplifies it, makes it stronger. I can program it to become more aware of my intuition, of this fine voice. I can basically tell a quartz crystal whatever I want them to tell. Mind you, not a whole story because they get bored, but like very precise. Help me strengthen my energetic field. Help me become more aware of my intuition and so forth. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. That's very interesting, how our intentions affect them. I believe we'll be talking about that in a few minutes, actually. Okay, excellent. So can you share some examples of some crystals and the specific intentions or energies that they're known for?
Yes, turquoise, which actually is not a crystal, but a mineral, but not every mineral comes in crystals.
Hmm.
Nevertheless, it's been always used by the indigenous people as a protection stone and as a so-called good luck stone, meaning it protects me from non-beneficial energies. Malachite is in the same category. I'm from Germany, so sometimes my English is not so good. It's in the same bracket of protection. Rose quartz assists me in becoming more into the space of self-love. Right? It doesn't suddenly, when I have a quartz crystal, oh, now I love myself. No, I still need to do something about it, but it will assist me in getting there. Black tourmaline also is an amazing cleanser. I had this experience with a friend. We were in India, and she got a new room, a new place to live in, and brought a big black tourmaline crystal into the room. Put it on a shelf. A minute later, I kid you not, that thing exploded. It was oversaturated with some non-beneficial energies, and cleansed it by just, transforming that energy into boom. Yeah. Obsidian is another amazing stone which actually makes you aware of a right course of action. For example, I was trying to do like 5 things at the same time in a time frame which is impossible. But since I'm stubborn in an areas, I do it anyways. I walked down the stairs, fell, and almost broke my ankle. Friend came and he goes like, "Did you have an obsidian on you?" Yeah. Well, did you not listen? No. Okay. They stop you. So if you have a black obsidian, you better listen to what your intuition says. Moldavite is one of my favorites. If you're already on the path, already way aware and have your intuition fine tuned and listen, that one will amplify your abilities by thousandfold. Out of my own experience, when I started healing with crystals, I went with a book. And yeah, okay, this one does this and this one does that. It worked. And suddenly, when I had a Moldavite on me, I knew what is this stone doing in this moment for this particular being, which sometimes was completely different what the basic idea of the stone was. So our intuition gets more fine, our vision gets more tuned into things which are not necessarily visible. So Moldavite is, yeah. Um, there's a whole list of opal. Opal, you have to be careful because if opal has this ability to store energy, and then like a condensator, when it's full, no more space, it gives it up in one burst. So now it's called a bad luck stone. Why? Well, if I'm constantly in a space of worry, anxiety, and in an environment which is not really beneficial, the stone takes it all on. And then when it's full, boom, I have bad luck. So I really want to clean it all the time. Or only wear it when I know I'm out in nature and, absorb beautiful, refined energies. Yeah. I could go on for hours, but maybe this is enough. What I want to say also about, like, sometimes for example, I don't feel anything. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything. I just know. And one way to be more open to crystals with seeing, knowing, hearing, or really connecting with the crystal, I really wanted to say that. There's a beautiful meditation where you look at the crystal, a new crystal. Well, you got it in the store. It said hello to you. You got it. You cleanse it under running water, no salt water. Yeah. Cleanse it under running water, a minute or two, whatever, you know. And then you look at it and you become very clear how it looks, color, form, all that. Then you lay down, put it on your belly button, close your eyes. Perfect to have a blindfold, so it's really dark. And then a few out breaths, you sink into the mattress. You get heavier. When you're really nice, heavy, and connected with the earth, with every out breath, you just get lighter. And you visualize yourself floating in a dark space. And suddenly, color light of your crystal is in the distance, comes closer, huge like a house, your crystal in front of you. You go in. You either see a door, a window, or you just go in and float in the crystal. See if you get any messages. What? Done. Then you leave. Thank you. Come back to this world. And then you are connected with this crystal. So if you forget the crystal on your altar, and and it's your protection stone, and suddenly you're in a situation where you need some more help, you just mentally look at the crystal in your mind and you're connected with the crystal and it's working on you. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that technique. I haven't heard that before, but I'm a big fan of that. I'm gonna try it, and I hope
Cool.
our viewers try it as well. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So, how can beginners benefit from using crystals to amplify their intentions and protect against negative energies? How do we do that?
Well, how do you do it? You program your crystal. You become aware of, well, it's a little bit of a multi-layered process, but if I'm a beginner, I just do this fake it till you make it. I just pretend that works. And I really feel that it works. So I take my crystal and I get really clear what I want. I want protection from non-beneficial energies. And I program that into the crystal. Put it in my right hand. If I'm left-handed, in my left hand. And just tell the crystal, I want until you think, oh, he got it. Right? Now, on top of that, you still want to become aware when there is non-beneficial energies entering. Suddenly you feel like weird, or suddenly you're sad and there's, what, or anxious and everything is actually fine. Then become aware, where is this energy coming from? And also put a shield around yourself. Like visualize a bubble around you, whatever color, and tell to your spirit guides and spirit helpers, hey, only beneficial energies can pass through this shield. And the crystal will help you to strengthen that shield. And then you just put it into place and it's done. Does it answer your question?
Yes, it does. That's it's very clear. I feel like it's a good thing that a lot of people can do. Thank you for that information. Very
I do
insightful.
it all the time. I mean, I'm not necessarily using a crystal anymore, but it's like absolutely automatic. Suddenly it's like this feeling or thought or what can shield up, boom. I don't even ask why. And I always experience that something then happens so that it actually works. Like I was going on a staircase and in a town, and suddenly this, shield up, so aura up, shield up, boom. The moment I did this, the guy in front of me turned around and gave me this really salty look. And in my mind, it was obvious because suddenly there was a shield and there was no more negative, or not negative, non-beneficial energies coming out. Because we often have hitchhikers. I call them hitchhikers. Yeah, it works like a charm.
I do that too in my own personal practice, but it is great for everybody to do. So if you are new to this, again, we recommend that you try it yourself.
Yes.
See how it works. Um, Fantastic. So how can beginners choose the right crystal for their needs?
Well, there's two ways. I go by the book, and I would recommend, like, I haven't read a book about crystals in about 30 years, I guess. But when I started learning about the energetics of crystal, I fell in love with the book called Love is in the Earth by Melody. Amazing. I don't even know if it's still available. So one goes now Google, what's the property of moldavite? And then you have 20 websites and you can research it. That's one way. So if what crystal is beneficial for migraine, yeah, or for spiritual growth, or what, right? We can research that. We can also become very clear about why and what this crystal is helping us with. It's not doing it for us, but it's assisting us, it's supporting us, right? So when I have that in my mind really clear, I go in a crystal store and I go there with an open mind, just cruise around and look at the crystal. And then suddenly somebody's calling you, right? Not with a voice necessarily, but suddenly your eyes goes to that, and no idea why. I don't even like the color, but I know this is the one. Intuition is the major thing for me. Yeah, but we need to practice how to listen to what we know, which is another whole 9 yards. But crystals can help us, not but, and crystals can help us with that. Yeah, a quartz crystal. Yeah, or a what's it called? Apophyllite, green apophyllite can help us become more aware of these fine things. Cavensite, a very rare mineral from India, but available. These help us to be more available to the inner voice, which is always right. Period.
Excellent. Yes. Let's dive in a little more to that intuition piece with our
Mhm.
next question. What role does intuition play in selecting a crystal, and how can beginners start to tap into their intuition?
Well, for me, it plays a major role. I don't even go with my mind anymore. I need a crystal for, I just know what I need. And it's also sometimes I don't need anything. I mean, I have so many crystals, I don't need a crystal, but suddenly some crystal goes like, okay, I get it. And listening to your intuition. Okay, there's a beautiful exercise which practice that. And it's very simple. So I start with, I want to drink a coffee. Yeah. So I close my eyes. I become conscious how my breath goes in and out for 1, 2, 3, 4 breaths. That gets me out of my mind into the present. And then I just go like, heart, I am drinking a coffee right now. Not I'm going to, but I am drinking a coffee right now. How does that feel? I get a feeling. If it's not clear already, then you go a few more breaths. Heart, I'm not drinking the coffee right now. How does that feel? I practice to listen to this small voice of the feeling. That would be the first entrance I found most easy, because we know what we feel. I'm going to drink a coffee now. Mm, it doesn't feel right. Well, I'm not doing it, because that's the second step. The voice is going to be quiet, because if it understands that, or your heart or your intuition, that you're not listening, it's going to shut up. So you got to listen. So the coffee doesn't feel good. I don't. I'm going for a walk right now. How does it feel? It's already a yes feeling. Yeah, but I need to cook first, or whatever, right? No, I'm doing that right now. Even if it's only 5, 10 minutes. Follow your intuition. And by, the voice becomes louder. You become more familiar with the taste, I call it, of your intuition. Because sometimes it's a thought, but these thoughts I have as an intuition, they sort of taste different. They're a little bit different. So it's an ongoing practice. And trust me, at one point, you just know. And then every now and then you check it out and you don't follow and fall on your nose, and you know that, yeah, right. This is like, I shouldn't do that. I mean, it's so hard to listen, because it's so fine sometimes, and the mind is so fast afterwards. Best example, I drive with my motorbike to town, go shopping. I always put my key on the belt. For some reason, I put it on my bag. Instantly, I knew that's not a good idea. Instantly, a split second later, my mind goes, yeah, what? You always take care of your bag. You never let go of your bag. It's fine. Same difference, right? Cool. So I put it on my bag. I go shopping. Bag is full, very heavy. Friend goes to my town, which is like a few kilometers away to my house. He lives there too. I said, hey, can you take my bag? He took my bag, and I was in town with my motorbike. The key was on the bag. I knew immediately, but I wasn't listening. So, yes. I hope that answers your question. It's an ongoing process. It's like, listen, do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something that takes a lot of practice and continued practice too.
Continued, yes.
Yeah, I think that's like the key, is the continued part. It's not a one and done.
And the good part is sometimes we don't listen, but we know we don't listen, but we do it anyways, and then I broke a bone, it happened to me the other time. I didn't listen, I broke a bone. And then no, I better don't do this, or I better do this. So yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So, are there specific color associations that can guide beginners to choosing a crystal? And how reliable are crystal books as resources? I know you already mentioned the books a little bit.
Yeah. Colors definitely related to the chakras. So red is the first chakra, which is grounding. Then comes orange, sexuality and emotions. Yellow, power. Green, the heart, bluish, azurite, that's azurite and cavansite, is creativity and communication. Purple, who am I? Looking inside. And clear, connection with the all, right? And so if I have a challenge with my sexuality, I use a color according to that chakra. If I have challenged grounding, I use a grounding stone. Agate is a beautiful one, which is color wise not really just red. But then if you have an agate which is red, it's even more powerful in helping you to ground. Yeah. And the heart is also pink, rose quartz, self-love. Yeah. Um, all green stones are working on the heart. And again, the quartz crystal works on everything. That's the clear one. That's the color association we have crystals and what would I do? What kind of crystal would I choose? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I love quartz, partially because it makes sense to me personally that clear would be everything, all encompassing, because it's not a color.
Even though there is other clear crystals, cellium and calcite, and the quartz again is more related to us, or we are more vibing with the quartz than with any other minerals, even though we have all copper and iron and all this stuff in us also. But the quartz is in silica in our body, so there's a great way to harmonize. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love,
interesting. Hmm?
I
Go
love
ahead.
quartz. I love them all actually, it's like
Yes, excellent. So let's talk a bit about the books. Are the crystal books reliable? Like if someone wants information, would you say that's a reliable, good place to go to a book? And does it matter which book?
well, I can't really answer that question because I haven't been reading that many books about crystals. I do know that Love is in the Earth from Melody was definitely accurate out of my experience. Um, I really don't know. People say a lot when the day is long, and so when I go on websites, I read something if I just need to refresh something or somebody asks me a general question. And again, I go with my feeling. Yeah. So when some new age crystals come up, which are basically just normal minerals, but they get a different name because they look different, um, I really need to feel into that, and see if that's correct or not. And we don't need to have a crystal of that specimen, of that kind with us, because I sound really weird, but there is no time and space. And I can be in the possibility of the quantum realm that I actually have that crystal in my hand right now. So I just visualize that and I'm there. And then I feel into it and like, no. Oh, yeah. Right. We are like magic beings, and crystals actually help us to become aware of that more and to use energy and frequencies the way we intended and directed. Again, I can't do any wonders, I can't go like, you're a frog. No, that doesn't work. But it does help. It is beneficial. It is supportive. Yeah. And but just by itself, no. Right? Otherwise, all the crystal hunters they would be enlightened because they just hang around crystals all the time, and but they're not doing the work necessarily, which goes with it, has to go with it. Makes sense?
Yeah, I feel like that does answer. Um, from what you said is that you feel with the intuition of how you feel about that before getting it, no matter what the book says.
Correct.
And I feel like that kind of answers the questions that your intuition is. I don't know. You're the one answering the question. Would you say that your intuition is more reliable than the textbooks or the same?
Well, it really depends who wrote it. But
Okay.
if that's a person who really went this, but I would say if there would be a forward which would say something in the neighborhood of, yeah, this is just the basic energetics, and it is varying from where that quartz crystal is coming from, or who had it in his hand, or what, right? I would think that's a good book, because it's not like an absolute, because there are no absolutes here. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Yes. Okay. That was a bit of a tricky question for us. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about this topic about choosing the crystals?
No.
Okay. We can move on to our next section then about cleansing and charging then. So fantastic. Um, okay, so our next question, how can beginners cleanse and charge their crystals for optimal effectiveness?
The way the experts do it. There is no beginner or ongoing growth. It's a very physical and practical process. It's said that the freezer, for laugh out loud, works in cleansing crystals. I never really tried it because some would like not feel right if I put them in the freezer. They might break from the temperature difference. So I never tried that out. Many people say a salt solution. I would not say that's a good idea because, yes, salt cleanses or erases energetics. And if I do too much, it erases everything. And I only want to let go of the non beneficial ones, right? I want to keep the beneficial stuff in. So I would never do salt because I wouldn't necessarily know. The two methods I prefer is running water. I just tell the water, please cleanse this crystal from all non-beneficial energies and foreign energies which are not beneficial for me. I hold it under the water until my intuition says, yeah, good. The other way is you put it on the earth, which is an additional effect. It charges the crystal. Moonlight charges the crystal. Sunlight charges the crystal, even though we have to be careful because some lose colors, like amethyst, for example, for prolonged exposure to sunlight. But running water on the earth, sometimes I actually put it in the earth for a little bit. Depends what my intuition says, or the crystal tells me, hey, put me under for me. So I just dig it in, and that charges the crystal as well. Yeah. So once I get a new crystal, since I don't know who had it and what's in there, because they take the frequency, we harmonize with everything around us, and so does the crystal. So if there's only like very salty people having this crystal in their hand, there's a bit of saltiness in there, and I don't want that. So, and I also don't really know what is good or bad, right? Because that's relative. Breaking my leg can be absolutely beneficial because I'm not in a different place and get killed. I don't know. So I say beneficial and non-beneficial. So I tell the earth or the water, please cleanse this crystal from all non-beneficial energies. When I feel it's done, then I program them, do this connection meditation. It's mine, so to speak. Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, the charging, moonlight is often preferred because it doesn't do damage to the crystal. Nature in general, just bring it back into nature and have it sit on the earth for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, half an hour, whatever you feel like. The crystal will tell you. not with a voice saying, "Hey, dude, pick me up now. I want to go home." But suddenly, like, you've been spacing out because the crystal is sitting there, and suddenly you see the crystal again. Oh, okay, now it's time. Answers your question, hopefully.
Yes. Yeah, that is very interesting. I feel like that moves into the next question a bit too,
Yeah,
which we can elaborate a little more on that if you would like to.
sure.
What are some simple methods that beginners can use to cleanse their crystals, such as salt water, or sunlight? And you mentioned both of those. You mentioned salt, you mentioned sunlight. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on not just those methods, but other methods as well that anyone can use? Please and thank you.
No, I think these are the most the ones I know of. And yeah, again, warning, I wouldn't use salt, running water, earth. You can try out the freezer, but I don't know. I should actually try that, or could actually try that out sometime. No, I think it's all been said. It's like it's a very simple process. It's just, nothing scientific to it, so to speak.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So why don't we talk about setting intentions? Could you please explain how setting intentions can be used to charge crystals and how often this should be done for beginners?
Okay. So there's this saying, where the mind goes, energy flows, which is true. If I worry, the energetics are like worry, and everything is not really happening to my liking, so to speak. So there is that. Then it has been found out that the heart, intention from the heart, is a gazillion times stronger than the intention, the energetic from the mind. So what I would suggest is, A, take the mind, become clear, like really clear. What do I want? It can be a villa with 10 rooms. Doesn't matter, right? Anything which really I think I want to create, I want to manifest. That's my intention. Then I go next step. Close my eyes, I breathe a little bit, and then I visualize that I'm having that house with 10 rooms. And feel that. And yeah, wow, great, wonderful. It has already happened. That is the most powerful way to tell existence, oh, this needs to happen. Yeah. Okay, I cannot sit back then and let's say, okay, existence, God, where's my villa? Right? I have to do a few things for that as well. Right? But my intention is the first thing. If I don't have any intention to what I am wanting to do or create, I'm just like flittering around and there's nothing happening. The other thing, and this is all a little bit of a mouthful, so it might be good for people to listen to it again, but basically, once I set my intention, comes the biggest trick. Drop it. Forget about it. Existence knows that we are going this way, right? But if I focus on the future, I'm not here in the present. And A, I'm not living. And B, I'm most likely not going to get there, right? Because I don't see where the path is because I'm over there. So I have the intention, I let go of it, I'm here in the present, but the energetic in the background is that intention. So I suddenly will see, oh, I have to talk to this person. Yeah, it has nothing necessarily to do with my 10-room house, right? But suddenly I'm in the moment, and then I follow that road to my goal, so to speak. Yeah. There's many tools we can use, which is, for example, a treasure map. Have a piece of paper, have a picture of the 10-room house, have a picture of gardens and a happy family around, whatever you want to create, and make a collage. Put some writing on it, whatever needs to be done, needs to be included in this intention. Put that at side of your bed every morning you wake up, you look at it and, yeah, this is great. Oh, wow, it's so nice to live here. Like you reinforce that every day. You can write your intention. Maybe, okay, you become aware something is stopping you from creating that. Like I have a problem with money, right? So I become suddenly aware because I'm in the moment. Yeah, my intention is I want to have a 10-bedroom house, but I won't get it because I don't like money, I don't like making money, right? So there's like a blockage which I want to let go, otherwise I can't go there. So at the new moon, I charge a piece of paper in the moonlight. Then I write down what I'm letting go of till the next full moon, and then I burn it. It's basically just communicating with our higher self and with existence without any big stories, with clear intention. Yep, I want to work this now for 3 months so I can create that. And I think the biggest factor is feeling like, okay, I then check out, like, is my intention actually to my highest good and the benefit of all? And then I visualize I have the 10-bedroom house. How does that feel? Am I now really content and happy, or is there, there's still some tension? Or or maybe, let's see, I actually don't have that 10-bedroom house. How does that feel? Wow, that might feel like liberating because I don't need to worry about getting there, or what? I don't know. We have to constantly, well, we don't have to, but it's a good idea to constantly just be in the moment and feel what is right. I hope I answered that. There's a
Yeah,
few
I
things in the question. I don't know. I lost what was else there, if there was anything.
well, I like the direction that went to. That was about setting the intentions using to charge the crystals. Um and what I liked that you said in particular was asking, is this for our highest good?
And benefit of all. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's important because if it's not working,
It
that could be.
could be the reason, it's not for the highest good and benefit of all. And it might be like, yeah, but I'm more important than the rest. Well, yeah, that is true in a certain way, right? But, and when I become more centered and happy in myself and content and aware, that is for the highest good and benefit of all. Yeah, because we are all in this together. And I actually really don't know anything. I have no clue what I'm supposed to do in 10 minutes when we finish this call. I go with I mean, I have a little clue, but you know what I'm saying? I don't really know what I'm going to do in 2 weeks. I really have no clue. I really don't know what would be the best for me to do to share more and more my gifts. But being in the moment and being more and more aware of where the intuition is pointing me, I'll be there in the right time for the highest good and benefit of all. We're all in this together.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes, the trust aspect is really beautiful in that as well. Knowing you're going to be in the right place at the right time, like you said.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to know that.
Yeah, it comes out of experience. If you practice following your heart, no matter what, right? No matter what the mind says. Like when I was 21, I finally decided I'm not a German. I need to get out of here. And suddenly India came in my mind, right? So I go to my mother and I said, okay, I'm going to India now. you can't do this, and when you get older and da 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 da, what are you gonna do? I go, I have no clue. I will figure that out when I'm older. But right now, it's like it's pulling me, so I'm leaving. Ever since I was following my heart, and I have an amazing life. Follow your heart, no matter what the mind says. Yeah, it's right. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I'm older. I'm 70 now. I have no problems. Everything is fine. I'm following my heart. Existence is not here to punish us. It's here for us to celebrate this life, even though it seems like challenging in times. But hey, that's part of it. It's an experience. So follow your heart. That's the best advice I can give anybody.
Definitely important. Okay, so we finished the crystal conversation. I want to ask you one more question
Mhm.
before we wrap up. So could you please share a memorable experience where your intuition had helped someone else in a profound way?
Well, it's really hard to say one moment, and I see every time when I give a reading, um, how strongly that impacts the people and gives them like aha moments and gives them the tools and the abilities to actually move into the direction they want to move in. And sometimes even 10 minutes later, I get a feedback. Yeah, and I was remembering what you said, and then I did this, and then wow. It happens quite often. It's just basically we are here to just assist and just put some light on the path. And there's so many, I can't really say one big, huge experience. I would be at loss for that. It's like all these little ones, which are like amazing. Suddenly the relationship to the parents changed and they come back to me and they go like, thank you so much, and or like a meditation comes up. Oh, I'm doing this now for the last 2, 3 weeks, and wow, my life changed totally. And so all these things are happening basically all the time.
Yeah,
No, no world shattering example. I'm sorry.
but that's wonderful that you're having an impact on many people all over the world through your work on Mystic Sense. How does that make you feel, having that kind of impact on people's lives?
um, Interesting. It, right is not a feeling, but it's a feeling of contentment, joy, and a knowing of like, wow, that's what I'm here for. Yeah, besides having a great time, but really being an example and showing people that, hey, there are no problems. It's all good. It might be challenging, and okay, right now I have gout and my knee hurts like hell. Um, Part of the story. We are here to experience something and helping people to be more joyous and be more relaxed and live a life of contentment and joy is just amazing. And that's what I'm here for. So it feels right. It's not a feeling, but it feels right. Yeah, that's what I'm here
Yeah,
for.
that's wonderful. I almost want to say like feeling right is something you feel. So like, how is that not right? Right?
Right. It's just not like a feeling you can say anger or sadness or happiness or what. It's just, yeah, it's strange. And on top of that, like now at the space I am in my life for the last, I don't know, quite a while, once you partied everything, once you traveled everything, once you did all this stuff which you can do here on the planet, there came a point for me where it's like, now what? Another party, that's boring. Another acid, that's boring. Another travel, that's boring. It's all beautiful. I can just, so what am I going to do now? And it came then, I mean, I was working already as a medium, but then it came more and more clear as, yeah, that's one thing left to do. It's just like, hey, don't go around that, go there, check it out, help others to come climb the mountain, so to speak. And yeah, and it's just like, wow, I love it.
That's great. It's wonderful. You love what you're doing and you love your life, it sounds like.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully from
yeah,
our
I
conversation.
do. I refuse to have a bad time. What's the point?
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. So this concludes our episode tonight. So thank you, Vinaya, for being here, sharing your wisdom and your expertise with us. Is there anything you'd like to tell the people watching today?
Ah, life is great. Enjoy it. It's going to be done at one point. So the moment right now is all we have. I have no clue if I live for another 10 seconds. I might hang up and there's an earthquake and the house falls on my head. I have no idea. So enjoy every moment in the moment. That's the best I can say. And yeah, okay, maybe one more thing since you got me going. The tool which made me more relaxed and have no problems is to be in the space of the watcher. Observe not just what's going on around me, but what's going on inside me, which is not me. I'm the one who's just observing that. And that's one thing which I would love to and do help people becoming more and more aware of. And then the knee hurts, yeah, but that's not me. That's the knee. I'm watching that. I'm the observer. Pain is still there, but somewhat I have a distance. Everything is great. I'm just watching. I'm sitting on the couch up here and watching the movie Vinaya is playing. That's the last I would like to say. And thank you so much. And I hope this is beneficial for people. And yes.
Yes. Thank you. I want to say before we finish this episode that if you would like to connect with Vinaya or get a personal private reading, please check out his profile link in the description of this video. You can connect with him personally on Mysticsense whenever he's online. Check that link in the description to find out where to go. So thank you so much for your time and energy tonight. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
wisdom. It's very much appreciated, and I hope you have a lovely week, a lovely evening.
I definitely do. I refuse to
Yay!
have anything else.
Thank you. Okay, everyone, have a great evening, and we will see you in our next episode.
All right.
Bye.
Ciao.